Our community with Debbie Amini.
سلام و خوش آمدی دارم خدمت شما شنوندگان عزیز و امیدوارم که این روز زیبا رو به خوبی و با خوشی سپری می کنید. دبی امینی هستم و خوشحالم که در برنامه دیگه از دنیای ما جامعه ما که برنامه است غیر تبلیغاتی و هدیه‌ای از رادیو ایران فرصت دیگه دارم که در خدمت شما عزیزان باشم.
Halal olsun Süleyman, halal olsun Süleyman, sen ne kelek bassan şeytan, üredip məni yola saldın, mənə rast gəldi yarcan.
بله زهره جون خانم نگهبان کارگردان فنی خوبمون یه جورایی مهمون امروز برنامه رو لو دادن. مهمان امروز همونطور که ممکنه حد زده باشید کنسول کشور زیبای آذربایجان هستند. Consul General Nasimi Aghayev, Consul General of Azerbaijan. It's really an honor to have you with us today in the studio.
So much for having me.
دوستان امروز راجع به مسافرت به شهرها و مراکز دیدنی آذربایجان، موقعیت‌های بازرگانی و همینطور چگونگی همزیستی صلح آمیز اقوام، نژادها، مذاهب و عقاید متفاوت در این کشور نه چندان وسیع ولی بسیار زیبا صحبت خواهیم کرد. اگر در طول برنامه سوالی به نظرتون میرسه که دوست دارید با کانسول جنرال در میون بگذارید، با ما با تلفن 323 512 72 64 تماس بگیرید. اگر هم دوست دارید که چهره بسیار جوان کانسول آقایف رو ببینید و همینطور بنرهای بسیار زیبایی که از کشور آذربایجان دارن و برنامه رو به صورت زنده مشاهده بکنید، سری به یوتیوب رادیو ایران بزنید.
Üredip məni yola saldın, mənə rast gəldi yarcan.
I'm inviting our audience to join us on YouTube so they can see how young you look. When it comes to the title of Consul General, I think subconsciously a much older person comes to mind. You're not only Consul General, but also the Dean of the Los Angeles Consular Corps, and yet very young looking.
I think it's the Azerbaijani air and the water, probably.
Or Azerbaijani genes.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
In April 2012, Azerbaijan's President Ilham Aliyev appointed Mr. Nasimi Aghayev as Consul General of Azerbaijan in Los Angeles. Consul Aghayev is the senior representative of the Republic of Azerbaijan to California and other 12 western U.S. states. Joining Azerbaijan's diplomatic service in 1999, the Consul General served at his country's embassies in Vienna, Berlin, Washington, D.C., as well as in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Baku. At Azerbaijan's embassy in Washington, he served as Consular for Political and Public Affairs. The Consul General holds Master of European Law degree from Germany and Master of Arts degree in International Relations from Azerbaijan. His book, Humanitarian Intervention and International Law, was published in German in Berlin in 2007. Consul General Nasimi Aghayev also serves as the Dean of the Los Angeles Consular Corps, which is the world's second largest consular corps representing 102 nations. Consul General Aghayev's articles on Azerbaijan, its foreign policy, traditions of tolerance and multiculturalism, as well as global issues, have been published by New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Washington Times, Jewish Journal, and many others. Besides his native language, Azerbaijani, the Consul General is fluent in English, French, German, Russian, Spanish, and Turkish. Not Farsi yet?
Not yet, but خیلی کم بلدم فارسی. Next time we'll speak in Farsi, our interview. I'm going to work on it.
That was very good, actually. So that would be your what? Your eighth language?
Yeah, that would be, yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, but I'm going to work on it, definitely.
Okay, let's start with the major goal of inviting consul generals of different countries to this show. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about tourism, investment, trading, etc. But as it is described on Radio Iran's website, the goal is to promote friendship between people from multiple countries. In your opinion, how important is it to create that friendship, or for a better word, unity among our people?
Exactly. And thank you again for having me on your show. And it's very, of course, commendable that you focus on this very important issue of bringing people together rather than dividing them, which is becoming even more important in the days and times that we are living, as we see a lot of unfortunate confrontations and conflicts around the globe, sometimes based on very little divisions, which are then blown out of proportion, exaggerated, and becoming huge problems among peoples and nations. So this is very important, especially in these times, to bring people around the things that actually unite us. And we have so many commonalities as human beings that we share as the citizens of this world, as the residents of this planet, and that we can work on all our problems jointly in cooperation without conflicts and in a civil way. So this is very important, and that's why I think this is very commendable what you're doing and trying to highlight the importance of unity among nations.
Thank you so much. دوستان، من از هدف برنامه صحبت کردم و دعوت کنسول‌های کشورهای مختلف به این مصاحبه. هدف برقراری دوستی بین مردم کشورهای متفاوت هست و من پرسیدم که نظر ایشون به عنوان یک کنسول در مورد برقراری این آشتی و یا به کلامی دیگر وحدت بین مردم کشورها چیست و همونطور که شنیدید ایشون موافقت دارن که خیلی مهم هست که ما هماهنگی و دوستی رو در بین مردم کشورهای مختلف برقرار کنیم. I've personally attended 2 beautiful events sponsored by you. One in Olympic Collection, which was a culinary and cultural event titled The Flavors of Azerbaijan.
Yes.
And another one in Beverly Hills called Embracing Peaceful Coexistence and Harmony, which was beautiful. This past Sunday was Holocaust Remembrance Day. And here we are today talking about coexistence and friendship among people. There are 2 things I really like to learn about Azerbaijan. First, I want to know how Azerbaijan contributed towards ending the World War II and the horrible killing that was happening back then against Jews and other minorities. Second, I want to learn about today's Azerbaijan's population. What is the main religion and what are the minorities?
Yes, Azerbaijan today has been independent since 29 years. This is our second independent Republic of Azerbaijan. But the first independent Republic of Azerbaijan was established in 1918 following the collapse of the Russian Empire. So we had a chance to reclaim our freedom and independence, and that's what we did. In 1918, the people of Azerbaijan established this first republic, which became the first secular democracy in the entire Muslim world. And even 1919, this republic, Azerbaijan, gave the voting rights to women for the first time among all Muslim nations, and even a year before the United States, so in 1919. So last year we celebrated the centenary of this momentous event in our history, and for all Muslim nations, I think. But then 2 years later, unfortunately, Bolsheviks invaded Azerbaijan and we became part of the Soviet Union. So from 1920 through 1991, almost 71 years, Azerbaijan was occupied, invaded, so lived under Soviet oppression. So when the World War II happened, Azerbaijan was already part of the Soviet Union. But we made a tremendous contribution, I think, to the defeating Hitler and his Nazi ideology in that war. And I'm going to explain how. Azerbaijan has been traditionally known as one of the centers of oil production. And to defeat such an evil ideology, you needed, of course, in the World War II, fuel and oil. And that came primarily from Azerbaijan. 80% of all oil produced in the Soviet Union and all fuel used by the Soviet army against Nazis was coming from Azerbaijan during the World War II. So 80%. So every 8 tanks out of 10 or 8 aircraft out of 10 were running on Azerbaijani fuel. So this was tremendously important for the Soviet army. That's why Hitler actually wanted to get to Baku, get hold of Azerbaijani oil, and then cripple the Soviet army and defeat the Soviet Union. Thankfully, those plans failed. In 1942-43, when the German army was marching towards Baku, was actually 500 kilometers away from Baku. They were almost there, but then the Stalingrad battle happened, and then the whole thing failed, and then that turned the page in the history of the World War II, and the rest is the history. This is I think a tremendous contribution. Another contribution in the World War II was that Azerbaijan sent 600,000 of his sons and daughters to fight in that war against Nazis, and 400,000 of them were killed in that battle. So that was a large portion of Azerbaijani population back then. Back then we had almost 3 million people, and 400,000 of them were killed in that war. What happened also, another remarkable moment, once you mentioned the Holocaust, Azerbaijan sheltered over 10,000 Jews fleeing Nazi persecutions in Eastern Europe. So they came to Azerbaijan, were sheltered by Azerbaijani people in their houses, in their homes, and they never left. They stayed in Azerbaijan because they were a huge foundation for tolerance and acceptance in Azerbaijan society, and that was one of the best environments for Jews and safe haven, actually, to come and live there. These are, I think, they played an enormous role. The Azerbaijan's contributions to defeating Hitler and his Wehrmacht. So we are very proud of that contribution. But in 1991, then Azerbaijan became independent, and today we have 10 million people, and we have 95% of the population are Muslims, both Shiite, the majority, 75% almost are Shiites, the rest are Sunnis. And we have a very vibrant Christian population of about 500,000, and we have a very vibrant Jewish community of about 30,000. And this is a very multicultural country, with a multi-ethnic, multi-religious country. We have Baha'is there. We have even the Hare Krishnas practicing their religion freely without any interference, any problems. And we have different denominations of Christianity, from Catholics to Protestants and the Orthodox. All are living together as one family, as members of one family. And the Jewish community you mentioned, Jews have lived in Azerbaijan almost for the last 2,000 years. They came to Azerbaijan after the destruction of the Second Temple. And they've been living there ever since, free of anti-Semitism, free of persecutions or discrimination. And we are very proud of that fact as well. And today we have 20,000 ancient Jews, mountain Jews they are called, those who came 2,000 years ago. And then Ashkenazi Jews who came in the 19th century from Europe, primarily, again, fleeing from anti-Semitism in other parts of Europe and coming to Azerbaijan, finding safe haven. And during the World War II, also at the beginning of the 20th century, that's how we got the Ashkenazi population as well. So overall, 30,000 of them living together peacefully with their Muslim, Christian, and brothers and sisters, and actually showing to the whole world that Muslims, Christians, and Jews and others, they can live together peacefully, actually going beyond the concept of tolerance. It's not just about tolerating each other in Azerbaijan. It's about accepting and respecting each other's faith, beliefs, and traditions.
Beautiful. دوستان، من از ایشون پرسیدم که کشور آذربایجان چه نقشی داشت در اتمام جنگ جهانی دوم و واقعا فاجعه هولوکاست. همینطور ازشون پرسیدم که مذهب اصلی کشور آذربایجان چی هست و چه اقلیت‌هایی در این کشور زندگی می‌کنن و آیا این اقلیت‌ها آزادی این رو دارن که مراسم مذهبی و عقیدتی خودشون رو به راحتی اجرا کنن. ایشون فرمودند که این کشور از ابتدا در واقع اولین کشوری بوده که به زنان حق انتخاب و رأی داده. در جنگ جهانی دوم هم از طریق تهیه نفت، به خاطر اینکه 80% تولید نفت رو داشته و تهیه می‌کرده به سوویت یونین، کمک کرده به اتمام جنگ و پیروزی بر علیه ارتش ناتسی آلمان و همین که 600,000 سرباز به جنگ فرستادن که متاسفانه 400,000 نفر جان خودشون رو در این راه باختن که تعداد بسیار زیادی بوده برای کشور کوچک آذربایجان. همینطور در همون زمان 10,000 نفر کلیمی یا جویش پناهنده شدن به این کشور که در واقع داشتن از ارتش ناتسی آلمان فرار می‌کردن. قدمت زندگی کلیمیان در کشور آذربایجان رو به 2000 سال قبل فرمودن که میرسه که بعد از خرابی بیت حمیقتاش دوم بوده در واقع. الان مذاهب مختلفی در این کشور به صورت کاملا صلح آمیز با کمال احترام به اعتقادات یکدیگه زندگی میکنن. فرمودند که 70% شیعه دارن، 20% سنی، حدود 30,000 نفر کلیمی زندگی میکنه که just out of curiosity, I'm still not done translating, but you said 30,000 Jews live in Azerbaijan currently. It seems to be the largest Jewish population in a Muslim country to me, isn't it?
Exactly. It's currently it's the largest Muslim community, Jewish community living in a majority Muslim nation in the world. It used to be other places, but today it's Azerbaijan.
باهای زندگی میکنن اونجا. Christians حدود 500,000 جمعیت دارن اونجا و حتی مذاهبی مثل هارا کریشنا و هر مذهب دیگری در نهایت صلح و آرامش دارن در کنار همدیگه زندگی میکنن. I was just wondering if there are any...
Excuse me, you just mentioned also the events with also at the Nesa synagogue. I just wanted... It was a very, I think, a historic and memorable event hosted by the Nesa synagogue together in cooperation with our Consul General last November. A very meaningful event attended by 400 members of the congregation. This is the largest Persian Jewish synagogue in the United States, one of the largest in the world, actually. So the theme, as you mentioned, was embracing interfaith harmony, embracing peaceful coexistence among nations, among religions, and in Azerbaijani case between Muslims and Jews and others, showing that model that works, actually, that works not only in words but very heavily in deeds and in everyday life. So we brought and we discussed that issue, and they were also there's a delegation of survivors from Karabakh region of Azerbaijan who came and shared their stories, their painful stories, but at the same time giving the message of peaceful coexistence, that despite all the hardships that Azerbaijani people had to go in Karabakh region of Azerbaijan because of war, etc., with the neighboring Armenia, Azerbaijanis have never lost their identity of multiculturalism, their identity of interfaith peace, harmony, and respect. And I think this is very important. That can be also a lesson to some other parts of the world where there might be some resentments, but that should never lead to festering of that kind of resentments and turning into hatred. In Azerbaijan, we've been able to prevent that so that this multicultural environment continues to persist and this harmony among nations continues into the future as well.
Beautiful. I just hope and pray that that message will be conveyed to all over the world, and one day everybody is going to have that identity as tolerance and respect for all the cultures, beliefs, and religions in the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I remember growing up, my parents, or perhaps actually my grandparents, were talking about a famous Azerbaijani TV serial. It was called Arshin Malalan that used to air on Persian TV. What about bringing some good old memories back to our audience, and then we'll continue our conversation.
Halal olsun Süleyman, sen ne kelek bassan şeytan. Üredip məni yola saldın, mənə rast gəldi yarcan. Üredip məni yola saldın, mənə rast gəldi yarcan. Gel gel maralım gel gel, ceyranım gel 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 maralım gel gel, ceyranım gel. Seni sevdim yar seni sevdim, gözüm görmez özgəni. Seni sevdim yar seni sevdim, gözüm görmez dünyanı. Seni sevdim yar seni sevdim.
Yes, yeah, beautiful. From Arshin Malalan, Azerbaijani operetta, the first operetta actually in the Muslim world from 1913. Composed by Uzeyr Hacibeyli, Azerbaijani composer. and that became kind of suddenly a sensation in the Caucasus and around the world. Even came to the United States like in the 1930s. So Arshim Malalan, or Cloth Peddler in English, is a pretty famous story. And what's also interesting, in the middle of the World War II, a film was made out of Arshim Malalan, which actually then increased its popularity in the entire world, and also was watched heavily, in Iran too. Rashid Behbudov, the main lead male actor and then singer in that movie, and it became a box sensation actually in the Soviet Union alone. And even Mao Zedong of China saw the movie and said that it should be made in Chinese as well. They redid the whole thing in Chinese and showed it in 300 theaters of China, even like all the way to China and all the other places in the world.
You mean they just translated in Chinese, or they made it all from...
They made the whole thing in Chinese, but Azerbaijani music and the story, that all remained, but the language just changed. It was translated in 130 languages, and they're shown in many different countries.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
We have 1 minute. Do you mind taking a call from one of our listeners? دوست عزیز بفرمایید سوالتون رو.
بله، شاید اطلاع داشته باشین که در سال 1918 طبق قرارداد ترکمنچای
ببخشید، مثل این که پرابلم داریم با تلفنتون، ما صدای شما رو خیلی خوب نمیشنویم. اگر میتونین یه جای بهتر برای صحبت پیدا کنین، صداتون قطع و وصل میشه. ما هم به چند آگهی باید الان گوش بدیم. به هر حال میریم قسمت آگهی ها، برمیگردیم. هاپفولی تا موقع صدای شما بهتر خواهد بود و در خدمتتون خواهیم بود.
Our world, our community with Debbie Amini.
Angeles.
دنیای ما، جامعه ما.
Our world, our community with Debbie Amini.
خوش آمدید دوباره دارم خدمت شما عزیزان. در قسمت دوم برنامه دنیای ما، جامعه ما هستیم و در خدمت میهمان عزیز امروز Consul General Nasimi Aghayev, Consular General of Azerbaijan. به صحبت‌های خودمون با ایشون ادامه میدیم. I wanted to ask you, Consul General, are there any special programs or events in the future that will help to introduce Azerbaijan, its beautiful culture, beautiful land, and most importantly, actually, the coexistence and unity that exists between the citizens from different backgrounds?
Yeah. Definitely, we are based in Los Angeles. We've been based here since 2006, and over the last, I would say, especially like 8 years, we've hosted over 50 different events in just Los Angeles alone. The largest of which was this performance of Arshim Malalan, the operetta at the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion at Music Center, watched by 3,000 Angelenos who came, and a large community of Iranians as well were there. So it was a huge success, and we had several large musical performances, again with thousands of people. So the whole idea is to bring Azerbaijan's rich culture, music to Los Angeles, where actually art culture is very highly appreciated. So there is a very receptive audience here in Los Angeles for cultures from around the globe. It's of course a competitive because it's a very large city, a very multicultural, diverse city. So we try to show to the local audiences here Azerbaijan's heritage, cultural heritage, as much as possible. So we are, of course, looking forward to the near future. Like the next event we will host will be at the UCLA Library, where we will commemorate one of the greatest poets in Azerbaijani literature and also literature of the East, who is Imadeddin Nasimi. Actually, I was named after that poet, Nasimi, who lived 650 years ago, 51 years ago this year now. And the last year we celebrated his 650th anniversary. The whole year was declared by our president as Nasimi year, and we celebrated his works, his poems, and the whole literary heritage he left behind. He was one of the masters of Sufi doctrine, calling for peaceful coexistence and harmony and love among nations, which is very ahead of his time. So that's why I would like to celebrate his works with a musical performance, with recitations at the UCLA Library. It's going to be on February 20th from 3 to 5 p.m. at the UCLA Library. So we will plan other cultural events throughout the year, and we will announce them when the time is right.
That would be great. I'm sure our audience will be looking forward to this. So برنامه‌ای که کنسول جنرال در آینده در نظر دارند در کتابخانه UCLA خواهد بود که قدردانی میشه از یکی از بزرگترین شاعرای آذربایجان به نام عمادالدین نسیمی که یکی از عرفای صوفی بودند. برنامه در روز 20 فوریه از ساعت 3 تا 5 بعد از ظهر در کتابخانه UCLA خواهد بود و قبلا هم اعلام کردند ایشون که بیشتر از 50 برنامه داشتن یا حدود 50 برنامه داشتن که همه هدف این رو داشته که کوگزیستنت رو و همزیستی مسالمت آمیز و با صلح رو بین مردم از بک‌گراند های مختلف پیشنهاد بکنه و ارائه بده و اشاعه بده.
And if anyone wants to attend that event and get more information, they can call our consulate at 310-444-9101, our phone number, and we'll give the entire information.
Thank you. اگر که علاقمند هستین به این برنامه و دوست دارین شرکت کنید با تلفن کنسول جنرال 310-434-9101 میتونید تماس بگیرید.
And it's free admission.
Oh, that's perfect. We're going to be older. Consul General Aghayev, you're also the Dean President of the Los Angeles Consular Corps, which is the world's second largest consular corps representing 102 nations. Would you please explain a bit about this position and your responsibilities as the Dean?
Yes. Dean, or like the Dean of the Consular Corps, is the kind of presiding officer of the Consular Corps that is based in Los Angeles. So we have one of the largest consular representations in the world. As you mentioned, we have over 100 nations who opened their consulates here in Los Angeles because of its diversity, multiculturalism of this city of Los Angeles. And these over 100 nations wanted to be here on the ground. And since 2 years, I've had the honor to preside over this organization. It's actually kind of my second hat that I'm carrying in addition to my Consul General job, which is, I think, pretty fun at the same time because we put together very interesting events for our members and also friends of the Consular Corps. We have every month a luncheon where we have speakers, high caliber speakers from politics to business to environmental protection to all different fields that are of interest for our consuls who are based here, who work here, who live here. And for them, this kind of information, educational opportunities about different possibilities, opportunities are very important. We just had our last event at the City Hall of Los Angeles, and our keynote speaker was the mayor of Los Angeles, Eric Garcetti. Actually, for the second time in last 2 years that the city of Los Angeles hosted the Consular Corps, and very good representation. We listened to the mayor and the deputy mayor at the same time, a representative of the California Lieutenant Governor's Office for International Relations, and about different opportunities living in this state, in this city, which are extremely important for all our members.
That's beautiful. Let's talk a little bit about tourism for people who are interested in visiting or perhaps temporarily residing in Azerbaijan for, let's say, business or school. What are the rules and conditions of obtaining a visa for people?
So the visa, actually, it's very interesting. Since some years, Azerbaijan has had one of the least cumbersome visa systems in the world. So it's now electronic visa. So you can sit at your home, just go online, fill out the application, and pay $20 fees, and then get your visa sent to your email, actually. And then you print it out, go to Azerbaijan, show it at the border, and that's it. So you don't need now to send your passports anywhere. So it's pretty easy at the moment. And that has actually this new system, which is called Asan visa also. Asan meaning also, both in Azerbaijan and Farsi, easy visa. That has increased tremendously the number of tourists going to Azerbaijan. Last year, we had the record number of tourists, 3 million. We reached the number 3 million foreigners coming to Azerbaijan, enjoying the Baku and all the regions and nature and food, a lot of opportunities. And just tens of thousands of people from the United States or from neighboring countries, even from Israel. We had last year 60,000 Israelis coming to Azerbaijan, another record number. We were expecting 40,000. Actually, it became 60,000. Because there are also a lot of opportunities for Israeli tourists, like the kosher restaurant just was opened, and of course, food and nature. But in general, Azerbaijan, out of 12 climate zones existing in the world, we have 9.
Wow.
When I was in Hawaii, they said we have 11 out of 12.
Okay.
So I said, with just 2, we can reach Hawaii. Because it's so diverse. We have high mountains. Mm-hmm. Some of the highest peaks in Europe are in Azerbaijan, 15,000 feet high. Or then the subtropical areas, we grow citrus fruits or desert-like areas. So it's a very versatile and diverse flora and fauna, which attract also tourism. And the Baku alone has so many things to offer, like a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which is the Old Town.
Okay.
The thousands of year old town with its palaces and then beautiful mosques and caravanserais there. So it's with UNESCO, it's protected by the government of Azerbaijan. Then we have at Baku alone, there's a Gobustan petroglyph site where you can find what our proto-human ancestors were doing there 40,000 years ago, all those rock carving art. It's another UNESCO World Heritage Site. And then we have Ateshgah Temple, which is an ancient Zoroastrian fire-worshipping temple, which were also used by Hindu and Sikh people for their own rituals.
The religions that we didn't talk about previously.
Exactly. So Zoroastrian, the fire-worshipping was one of the initial faith and religions that existed on Azerbaijan territory. So there are, and the Baku alone, we have a Baroque style building surrounding this old town, and then this modern architecture coming since the last 10 years, like Zaha Hadid designed, famous architect Zaha Hadid, who passed away. She built this beautiful Heydar Aliyev center, cultural center, right in downtown Baku, which has all curves, no straight lines, one of the most beautiful cultural centers in the world. So you have this architecture, this great food. Mm-hmm. I'm sure they found a lot of similarities to neighboring countries, but it has own very particular flavor. You mentioned the Dolma festival we put together last December.
It was beautiful.
Just Dolma, we have 380 types of dolmas in Azerbaijan. So you can taste all of them at once.
Even just for the dolma's sake, I really encourage people to go and visit Azerbaijan. Let me just make a clarification on the visa that we talked about. The easy or Asan visa that you talk about, is it for people who are citizens of America, or you also mentioned Israel? What about people who currently live in Iran?
So for Iranian citizens, yes, we have an embassy in Tehran, we have a consulate in Tabriz.
Okay.
And now Iranian citizens are also able to get visas at the border with our exclave Nakhchivan, which is a part of Azerbaijan, but separated from the mainland.
Okay.
But Iranian citizens are very often travel to Nakhchivan, so it's very easy. And our consular services in Iran work very hard to accommodate all the applications from Iranian citizens who go to Azerbaijan. That's why we have a large number of travelers from Iran who come to Baku, especially around Novruz. All hotels are booked. We have a huge Iranian travelers coming enjoying Novruz celebration in Azerbaijan.
It's just a good place to go because they get to celebrate Nowruz in Azerbaijan at the same time they're traveling outside of Iran.
Exactly. And Novruz has those specific also Azerbaijani style celebrations, of course, bonfires and other traditions, beautiful, and the whole city has that then flavor.
Çarşamba Suri, I think.
Bonfire, we make bonfire, like little fires, and people jump over.
Right. So is this the Tuesday night before Nowruz?
This throughout, yes. Actually, throughout the whole celebration, one of the most famous traditions there.
I see. Okay, because we specifically do that tradition the Tuesday night of before Nowruz.
Yes,
and we call it Çarşamba Suri.
Yeah, we celebrate every 4 Tuesdays before Nowruz.
That's good. It's a good tradition to be celebrated 4 times. That's even better. You talked a little bit about the common tourist attractions in Azerbaijan. But when I was trying to learn more about Azerbaijan, I saw something called Statue of Free Woman.
Oh, yeah.
Would you please explain to me what it is and what does it represent? It was just interesting.
It is a very unique monument in downtown Baku, a statue of free woman or liberated woman. It's a woman, it's a statue of a woman taking off her veil. And it was erected in 1960s. And the story of this monument is based on the actual story of a woman called Tahira, who was one of the main figures in Baha'i history in the 1950s. So Tahir, when I was invited to address the Baha'i community in Los Angeles a couple of years ago, I told them the story of Tahira. Of course, everybody knew Tahira, who she was, and because she was a courageous woman, and then trying to fight against dogmas, etc. And then actually, this architect, the sculptors, they love the story, put that monument in the middle of Azerbaijan, Baku. And it's also unique in our wider, larger region. Actually, it's also in line of women emancipation in Azerbaijan. That has been always one of the top priorities. As I mentioned, the first nation to give women rights, voting rights to women in 1919. And then throughout the 20th century, this women emancipation continued in Azerbaijan. And today, in our parliament, we have 21 members of parliament are women out of 125. We have even on our Supreme Court, there are members who are women. One of them is actually also a Jewish woman, which is another unique factor. A Jewish woman and the Supreme Court, a justice in a majority Muslim nation. Tatiana Goldman is her name. And many judges and the executive branch, many is heavily represented. 51% of all PhD holders in Azerbaijan are women. 51%. So they are beating men in that regard.
Very nice. Very shortly, if you can also mention what is Mountain Jews.
Oh, yeah. Mountain Jews, this ancient Jewish community that came to Azerbaijan about 2,000 years ago, they settled down in this mountainous areas in northeast of Azerbaijan. And they live there ever since in that part of the country, but also they later settled down in Baku and other regions, but primarily in that northeastern part of the country called Guba area. And about 270 years ago, they established their own village there, and they called it Jewish village. And the Azerbaijani Muslim ruler of the region said that I'm going to give you half of my town and you can, across the river, for you to establish your own village, which is one of the unique cases of this Muslim-Jewish harmony and understanding. And that village has been there ever since. When the Soviets invaded Azerbaijan, the name was changed to Red Village, and ever since it has been known as Red Village. But it's a Jewish red village or red town. It's the second largest all-Jewish town in the world outside of Israel. The first is Kiryas Joel in New York, state of New York. The second is this red town. So it has beautiful synagogues, ancient synagogues, and yeshiva. And now the first museum of mountain Jews will be opened pretty soon in that town. So it's one of the biggest attractions for all the Jewish travelers, Israeli travelers who come to Azerbaijan, and many others, where you see that harmony in action.
Very nice, very nice. Is there a peak season to go visit?
And they speak their own language. It's called Juhuri.
The Jewish people?
Yes, they have their own language, Juhuri, which is it's related to Old Farsi.
Arabic,
at the base
probably it's an Aramaic language.
Yes, but more like Old Farsi language base, but you have infused with then later with Hebrew, Azerbaijani, Russian, some Russian. So it's a unique Jewish language right there.
Very interesting. So let's go back to the peak season. Is there a peak season or is beautiful all year round?
So we have as I said, this is Baku, the capital of the city. It's 28 meters below the sea level, the lowest laying national capital in the world. Its winter is mild, and the summer is hot, but not very hot, intolerably hot. So so we have all 4 seasons can be experienced in Baku and also in the regions. Yes, of course, peak seasons, as always, are usually starting from late March, April, May, June, July. Yes, and then of course September is even very good weather to visit Baku and the regions. And of course, we have in the winter ski resorts. Now we just opened 2 ski resorts in the last 15 years. High mountains, beautiful infrastructure. So now for all fans of winter tourism, summer tourism, spring tourism, there are opportunities there.
Very nice.
آذربایجان هنرمندان بسیار متفاوت این کشور رو به شیوه خودشون امتحان کردن.
به هر جایی که در آذربایجان نگاه کنی یه منظره جدید و یه شخصیت جدید می‌بینی. هرگز تمام نمیشه. وقتی برای بار اول چیزی رو امتحان می‌کنی باید دوباره امتحانش کنی.
شهر تضادهای شگفت انگیزه، باستانی و مدرن، شلوغ و آروم. برای تجربه کردن همش یه زندگی کافی نیست. مردم این شهرن که باعث زنده بودنش شدن.
این دیوارا رو که نگاه میکنم میتونم اون موقع که تازه ساخته شده بودن آدمایی که اونا رو ساختن و زندگیشون رو تصور کنم. یه جورایی انگار همین دیروز بوده.
آذربایجان واقعاً شگفت انگیزه. همیشه برام یه چالش جدید داره. صخره، بیابون، آتشفشان‌های گلی، کوه، دریای خزر. چالشاش هرگز تموم نمیشه.
آذربایجان کشوریه که تمام حواس رو به هیجان میاره. کلی بافت و طعم، صدا و عطر داره. چیزای زیادی برای کشف کردن و دوباره امتحان کردن داره.
Consul General Nasimi Aghayev, I wish we could continue this discussion, but it seems that we're coming to the end of today's show. In the remaining couple of minutes, would you like to add anything to today's discussion, like a message to the Persian community?
You know, we've had a wonderful relationship with the Persian community here of different backgrounds in Los Angeles. And we continue to have, as I mentioned, this Nessa synagogue, amazing synagogue, and we had this great event. We have with many other, like Sinai Temple, many great, even the Sinai Temple sent a delegation to Azerbaijan, 50 people, bringing a Sefer Torah to our Mountains Jewish community some years ago.
Wow.
So this is there is lots of affinity with the Los Angeles-based Persian community. And I'd like, to invite all the listeners of the radio to go to Azerbaijan, visit Azerbaijan as tourists. And actually, the number is increasing. I see a lot of people coming to me, say, I was just in Azerbaijan, visited your country. So there is a lot of now, this is very heartening. But we'd like to invite as travelers, but also as businessmen, as the investors, because Azerbaijan now is becoming really a hub economically, business-wise for the entire region. So we would love to welcome your dear distinguished listeners in Azerbaijan.
The next
Thank you.
destination, Azerbaijan. Thank you. I want to thank
very
you one
much.
more time for accepting our invitation.
Thank you.
And
Great to
taking
be
the
here.
time off your busy schedule and being with us today. Thank you
Thanks
so
so much.
much.
Thank you very much.
خدا نگهدار. عزیزان روز خوش. دنیای ما، جامعه ما.